Hello everyone, welcome back to Master Quest. My name is Christian Buckley. This is my first time playing A Link to the Past, and because sometimes going back to old games can be tough, I wanted to experience it with someone who loves this game dearly, and that is
Indeed.
Master DJ Gillard.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here this week.
I'm excited to be back.
Hey, me too. Me too.
I look forward every week to my little hour to hour and a half
Yeah, your little
play
fireside
session.
chat.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Before we dive into this week's show, though, we do have some updates and information about series lore and history and theories from the Zelda community via Reddit, YouTube comments, and Discord.
You know me, there's nothing I love more than taking a really dumb side bit way too serious and way too lore-wise serious. So it's nothing better than just going all for it, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. First off, via Discord, in our JoyClicks Discord, every week, Neon Rider Arya, shout out, gives a very detailed play-by-play on like commentary on everything. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
They're basically saying that sort of what like the game implies about what we talked about between the troll and the ball of like reflecting their true nature in that world.
Yeah.
It would sort of reflect Link's innocence, and I guess there's some sort of like history behind rabbits just being like pure souls or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of in line with what we were thinking it was.
Yeah. We were just like spitballing, and we probably kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
On Reddit, r/True Zelda is where this was posted.
Okay.
The top, let me make sure this is right. The top upvoted comment is from Serba U. Link turns into a bunny because he is of pure heart. That's all there is to it. It is a readily anthropomorphable, passive, attractive animal. Japanese culture also attaches rabbit symbolism to the moon, so perhaps the moon pearl was named first, and then the rabbit was attached to Link as a result of it being related to the moon pearl, or vice versa.
I think I want to say last week I actually made an offhand reference, just like guessing. I'm just like, I don't know if this is right, but I feel like there might be like some sort of cultural Japanese thing going on here. Why he's a rabbit?
Yeah.
And it turns out,
well, yeah, because
we're smart guys for not knowing what we're talking about, just kind of guessing. Pretty smart.
Well, yeah, because a lot of Zelda is inspired by, at least the original ones, inspired by Japanese folklore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Over the series, there's actually an interesting relation with like some Celtic mythology. There's some good articles that I don't know where I've read it now, but there's some really good stuff about that, which is really interesting. But yeah,
for sure.
Definitely some Japanese influence there too.
Now that you mention that, I can definitely see, like in my head, like reaching back of like architecture and stuff like that of the Celtic mythology stuff, which is cool.
The article I read like a couple months ago was specifically about just Breath of the Wild and all of its Celtic influences, and it was really fascinating. I loved it a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely in my head picture some visual patterns that in my head belong to like a cross, but I know there's not a lot of crosses in Breath of the Wild, right?
No, the cross is kind of phased out like after the first game, pretty much. Like you don't see it much after that, really.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And also, shout out to the people who have been catching up on the series on YouTube. I've seen some comments on in-depth commentary on things, so
awesome.
Appreciate all of it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. But this week, DJ.
This week.
We left off. Where did we leave off?
We left off at... we left at the Tower of Hera. Yes, I remember now. It's been a while. It feels like it's been longer than it has, but it's only been a week. So we left off. We entered the Tower of Hera.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we do here is you get the first introduction, like what this dungeon's gonna be, pretty much, of just like generic dungeon. Zelda block puzzles. Yeah. Like this is kind of I don't think the first Zelda had any switches like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. So this is kind of the start of that, which becomes such a Zelda tradition. Just there's one dungeon where it's like you just gotta switch the blocks. That's about it.
You know what I just realized?
What?
It's a dungeon about switches. And the orb switches are blue and red, which are the neon Joy-Con colors on the Switch.
Oh.
I doubt that's any sort of thing other than a coincidence, but
Yep.
I'm playing it on a Switch.
Yeah.
So, worth noting.
Hey, and Zelda launched the Switch, so you never know. They might have been thinking about it. Who knows?
Yeah. This is a very different dungeon so far, because this is, like you said to me last week, it's smaller floors in their like area, but way more than we've seen so far. Yeah,
there's like 3 floors that are just like one big room.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It is cool. I have to admit, I was lost for a little while.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The one main puzzle, like the only big puzzle of this one is like a little bit tricky to figure out, I think, when you have to drop down and get the moon pearl. Trying to figure out how you position yourself, how do you get the block sets right, all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff I remember my first time through, I was like, I'm kind of confused, I'm not sure how to get there. But I didn't have any issues with this run through, but I've played it many times, so I wouldn't expect anyone. I would expect someone else to. It's nothing to be ashamed of, for sure.
Okay, so I have a question.
Though? Okay.
I didn't get a moon pearl from doing this. Did I miss something?
Yes. I think you did. I don't think you can beat the dungeon without it. Did you not do the thing where you drop down? You like switch the floor with the little orange block thing that you block over, where you can switch where the falls of the floor is. You remember that thing?
Yeah.
So you switch that, and then you fall down from the something floor to the one with the big chest in the top of the room, and it's in that chest. You have to switch the floor so you can actually land there properly.
Oh, I don't think I got it.
You just didn't do that. So did you not get a dungeon? Did you not get anything in this dungeon then?
No, I did, but I just don't think I got the moon pearl.
What weapon's in this dungeon again? I can't even remember.
I don't think there's a weapon in this dungeon.
Yeah, I think it's the moon pearl that's replacing the weapon. So you must have got it.
That makes that doesn't make so much sense, but like when I was walking through, I saw the giant chest in the room leading up to the boss, and I saw that there was a pitfall in front of it, and I turned the pitfall off, and then I saw that I couldn't get to the chest yet, and then I think I just forgot about the chest and fought the boss.
Huh.
So I have to go back for that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because to be honest with you, I don't believe you.
I have my Switch with me right now. I'm gonna look up or see my inventory, see what's up. But like, I really don't think I have this thing.
Oh yeah, you definitely could have missed it. I'm on GameFAQs now. It says you can totally miss it. Yeah. So when you got to the Dark World, we'll skip ahead for a brief moment here. Were you a rabbit again?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Am I stuck here?
No. Like I hope you didn't bug it out. I don't think you did though. I think you can just go back to the normal world with the mirror. The mirror is like how you switch back. You already learned that, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think you can just go back and get that item. The moon pearl is like what makes you not be a bunny in the Dark World.
Okay.
Much. That's why you need it.
So I'm pretty sure I can still get that because we can go back to talking about the dungeon and getting through the episode. But I have a note at the bottom of my list about something Sasha said to me when I got here.
Okay.
And I think that is, yes, I can still get it. Because he did mention it again once I got teleported back to the Dark World.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's very funny, I gotta say.
That's crazy that you can miss that, though.
Yeah, it makes sense, but like I feel like they should have some sort of gate, you know?
Yeah, that's like really crazy to me because it's such like an integral thing, and like clearly even though I missed it, I still need it, right? Because I can't do anything else in the Dark World, right?
Because you can't swing your sword in the Dark World. You're gonna need to be able to do that eventually.
Yeah. So just the fact that they let you miss that's very interesting to me. And like terms of like a game design level.
Yeah. I honestly I don't think that's good game design, to be honest. I don't think that's like an interesting like thing that they do, like a trick they pull. I think that's just like, no, you got to make sure people get that thing, man.
Trust me, there's something else this week that I do not.
Yeah,
think
you're not feeling. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm not a fan of this dungeon, DJ.
No.
This DJ, this dungeon is bad.
Bad.
It's bad.
Bad. That's hard to hear.
There's some bad things. Okay. Let me present my case. First off, shout out to the fire-breathing Triceratop things. Those are cool.
Those are very cool. Correct.
My shield doesn't work on them, even though it's upgraded.
Yeah, it's only the small fireballs. It's not like any big ones. It's just like the little dots like Zoras will shoot and stuff like that. I think they shoot fireballs at some point. I don't know. You know the one I'm talking about, though, the small ones.
Yes. Yeah, the small, like, golf ball size ones.
Yeah.
I also found a hard hat tentacruel enemy. Like, he just looks like a Squidward, kind of.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember this now.
Yeah, but my fourth note, this is bad, because I did get lost. I got stuck. I couldn't figure out how my progression. I explored the entire entrance area, the downstairs, and I got, like, blocked off in the room where I had to kill the tiles.
Right.
Because that was introduced at some point.
I think that was introduced in the last one, wasn't it? Or no, you just had...
The tiles were there, but you could have just avoided them.
Yeah, you gotta, like, let the tiles go for this one.
Yeah, like, a lot of them.
Yeah, it's many.
I died,
so
like,
did you
3
just
times in
bailed out
that
of that room, pretty much?
Yeah, because I went in there, and I was like, oh, I must need to, like, hit a switch in a different rooms or something, and then I just took care of the other rooms first. And, yeah, I just got stuck. But I did end up looking it up eventually of, like... Because I tried, like, standing in the corner, holding my sword at the ready, so that way when they flew at me, I would stab them. But then a couple did hit me and kill me, like, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So I was on the right track, but I looked it up, and it was like, just swing your sword at them when they come close to you.
Yeah, if you just mash your sword button, you're pretty much fine.
Yeah, so that was a little frustrating, not knowing that, and then trying, like, seeing that it was that simple, and there was no real indication.
Yeah, those are always the worst ones, where it's like, it's not even a hard puzzle, you know? It's just like, messed that one up, oops. And it happens, though.
Because, like, they did introduce this, I don't even know if it counts as an enemy, but, like, this enemy in an earlier dungeon, like we just said, but that mechanic doesn't play into anything else in this dungeon. It's just there. So it just felt out of place and, like, strange to wrap my head around.
You'll be happy to know that this happens all the time. Probably in every dungeon, like, there'll be one room where it's like, you just gotta let them all go, and then the door unlocks.
The tiles?
Yeah, the tiles.
Oh, that's annoying.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Now you know how to deal with it, though, and you won't like just run away, and you'll be like, you'll move on. But yeah.
Also, I got to the 5th floor. In this room, this is the room where there's like the 2 rows of like 8 or 10 pots next to each other.
Right.
The top of this room, the top wall, has 2 cracks in it.
Yes.
That look bombable.
Yep.
Why aren't they? Is that just like some detail of a design that's like...
I think it was just they're just throwing in some cracks. There's no weapon you get later that lets you blow them up or a way to get over there.
Okay.
So it's just there's just some cracks in the wall. It is weird that they use the same, like it's an old game, so like they didn't like they couldn't make so many like sprites and stuff like that. So I get it, but it definitely is weird when you see that and you're just like, I can bomb that, I can do that, and you're like, no, you can't.
Because like I'm sure side by side, like if you looked at that and an actual bombable wall, I'm sure there would be some difference. But
yeah, they are a little different.
But like seeing that, it's like, oh, a crack means a bomb.
Yeah, that's just the language they've taught you at this point. Just crack means bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, outside of just, like, the struggle of trying to figure out that tile room and figuring out where I was supposed to go and missing the moon pearl, the dungeon is, like, straightforward. I think it's just, like, not conveying its ideas well, personally.
Yeah.
And this boss...
Ooh, I'm excited for the boss, because I know this is going to be a thing.
This boss is terrible. I hate this boss, DJ. It sucks. It's bad. It's so bad.
You'll be happy to know that this boss is called Moldorm.
Mm-hmm.
The Zelda community over the years has nicknamed it Trolldorm. So that's, I think, a very apt name for this boss, because it's what he is.
So
it's nice that we now have on the Switch we have a rewind feature and a save state feature. Because imagine doing this on the Super Nintendo as a kid, or like Wii Virtual Console when we didn't have this stuff, and it was like, if you die, or if you fall down, you're pretty much screwed because you're not going to beat him with the 3 hearts you have left.
Yeah.
And if you die, going back to the beginning of the dungeon, go up all those forests to give it another go.
So if you fall down the pit, and you walk back up,
you don't even...
The damage doesn't carry over?
No.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
Because the thing is, it resets... If it resets the boss health every time, and then we don't get the reset, and then every time we go down, the pots reset, but the drops don't, that's bad. And it's just like the fact that these worm enemies in general, not just specifically Moldor, the fact that they're randomized movement patterns, it's horrible. It's not good.
Okay. It's some harsh takes, I gotta say.
It's just frustrating.
I don't disagree.
Because it feels cheap, and like Zelda never in my experience with Zelda games, they everything usually feels pretty fair.
Yeah.
This does not feel fair.
Totally.
This is the first time, because I've been trying to keep the experience like as pure as I can, but this boss made me use save states and save scum.
Yeah. That's fine. That's totally fine.
So, but do you enjoy anything about this boss?
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things where I feel like my first time was probably a bad experience like you, but after playing it like 6 times, I can just walk in there and muck that guy up, and it's fun for me. But I totally agree. Like, this is bad. Like, it's like a funny joke nowadays, and like I think about it fondly, just because like it doesn't bother me on my playthroughs, and people just hate this guy, so I kind of get that kind of twisted enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's not well designed. I think an easy way to actually like fix this fight probably is to just let the boss's health drain after you fall down the pit.
Yeah.
Like if you get like 3 hits on him and you fall down and you only take a couple and you go back up and do it, like you might die like once or twice, but you wouldn't be like that frustrated. You'd be like, this is kind of cool how you have to walk up and like fight him again, and like this, you would be like, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be an astounding boss, but you would at least be like, you wouldn't be pissed off. You would be like, sure, cool boss, whatever.
Yeah, because like once I realized that it reset, that's when I was starting to get upset, because I was like, I can't have a strategy for this, like, especially even with not even like the series as a whole, but like with this game specifically so far, every boss has had a strategy, be it like an item or attack pattern, and because it's random, and because it speeds up, and because like he can like sort of get you in like a frame trap almost, like it's just a little annoying.
The one strategy that you could use, I don't know if you did, because I've suggested the strategy for every boss, so I guess it's not specific to this boss, but spin attacks are really your friend here.
I was trying.
Yeah,
and it just didn't work out for me. Like I had to really just kind of move around randomly and like by chance run into his tail.
It is hard to like to get in, because like when you're holding your spin attack, you move much slower, so it is hard to get into the proper position to do it while being held down. So yeah, I feel that, but that's always how I've done it. One thing I also do like about this boss, it's something I like about this game in general, not specifically this boss, but this boss does it, is I like the idea that the weapons that you get are not just inherently you got the bow this one. Use the bow to kill the boss. Like I get that school game design. Like it's good game design, but like I like the idea that you walk into a boss room and you just have to think on your feet. You gotta figure out like, how do I beat this thing? I think there's bosses later on in the game that do that way better. Mm-hmm. That'll use like other aspects. This one's just like, oh, you just swing your sword at it, so it's not that deep. There's other bosses later in the game where it's like, oh, use an item 3 dungeons ago. Like you gotta figure that out. Like, I like that much better. And
that's cool.
Kind of does it.
That's super cool. I love when games do that. And I had an assumption that this boss might have been doing that because, like, as we established, I didn't get the item of this dungeon, so I just thought there wasn't an item. And I tried the boomerang, I tried the bow, didn't work, and then I was like, oh, I got the ice rod. Maybe the ice rod will work. Maybe that'll like freeze him because he moves so fast. Maybe that's the key. No. But yeah, it does feel like a boss that should have probably came earlier in the playthrough as far as like what the strategy is, but hearing that they do go what this one's going for, but in more successful ways later is good to hear. So
let's move on from this dungeon. I think we've made our peace with that one.
When the pendant of wisdom fell, I was like, oh, the moon pearl looks a lot like one of the pendants. And then I was oh, it's the pendant of wisdom. Okay.
I still can't get over that. That's crazy.
I know, it's so funny.
So when you come out of the dungeon, did you go explore in this little section, or do you just head straight to your objective here?
Oh, I went straight for the Master Sword, man.
Okay, yeah. You were pumped up to get it. I get it.
I wanted to see that squirrel again.
Yeah, the squirrel was so cool.
Went back there. I was in a rush. Not even in a rush. I just was like, I was excited to get there. So I was doing the sprint, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And I was sprinting down one of the logs, like pathways, and I hit a tree, and then a swarm of bees came out.
Yep, there's trees with bees in them.
That's crazy.
There's actually a nice few hidden trees in this game that have fairies in them if you know the locations. I know some of them. I don't know. I've never like looked up to like where is all the fairies, but I know like I've like over my many playthroughs like you'll just like run into something and you'll accidentally hit a tree and you'll be like, hey, that's useful.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's some with bees in them too, which is fun.
Yeah. That was a little surprising because I've seen the ones that come out of grass before, but seeing like a tree full of them was like a shock. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But I did get the Master Sword. Cool moment.
Yeah. Sasha says, hey. He doesn't say anything like really that important. He's just like, yeah, head to Sanctuary. There's some things going on. Or maybe he doesn't say
Zelda said that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. My notes are bad, I'm sorry. He just like says like, hey, you gotta go to the Hyrule Castle or whatever. And then on your way back, Zelda says that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. On the way back, I discover the Master Sword can one-hit people, or the green guards at least.
Yeah,
that's a good feeling.
Powerful. And it has like a little bit longer of a reach, which is really
I noticed
nice. That. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a few pixels, but like looking at it you wouldn't even tell, but once you start playing you're like, oh, this feels good. This is much better.
Yeah, it is super helpful, and like I think I discovered this later in like the second part of what we do here in this episode, but I never realized until Breath of the Wild that the Master Sword can shoot projectiles. Like I knew that there was like the sword projectile in the original game.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was to represent like a spell or something. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because in Breath of the Wild, it's like full health, you get the little whippies. And this, you get swirlies for full health.
Yes, they're very, very good. Yeah. It's very nice having full health and just being able to like spam it enemies across the room. It's very nice.
I discovered that when I was going through Hyrule Castle, because I guess like with everything I did between getting the Master Sword and showing up in Hyrule Castle, I didn't have full health.
Yeah.
Because I did do one other thing.
Okay.
I remembered in Death Mountain,
right,
next to the Tower of Hera, there was another one of those tablets for me to read with the book.
Right.
Because I read it.
Oh, so you went there?
Yeah, I read it before I entered last week. to end the episode.
And it just tells you...
Yeah, it says you need the Master Sword to be held up
Yeah.
here. So I went back, and I got the Aether.
Aether Medallion. That's the one that shoots... Did you use it yet?
Yeah,
Okay, it shoots lightning, right?
I used it immediately, and my comment is, looks OP.
Yep, it is.
It's a cool move.
What does it do again? Is that the lightning one?
Yeah, I think it has the symbol is a lightning bolt.
Okay. And like Link stabs down with his sword and the lightning shoots out all the sides, right?
No, it's like there's like a swirling effect, and then like a few energy balls shoot away from you, and there's like a negative effect.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this.
That might be the way.
It takes down like all your magic bar too.
It took down like half, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool move though.
Yeah. There's a... I won't say anything about that, actually. Never mind.
Well, I figured there's going to be a couple more of these because...
Yeah.
Again, I've played a handful of Zeldas, and in Ocarina you have the 3 specials.
Zelda really likes 3, I gotta say. They got an obsession with that number.
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool to know that there's, like, specific abilities like that in the world for me to find, and I'm assuming that that's optional. Or at least some of them may be.
We'll get there. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Cool.
You definitely need some of them. I'm not sure if all of them are used at some point, but
yeah.
Yeah. So you head back to Sanctuary, I guess, right after this, right?
Yep. Priest is there. He dies like a Jedi.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I feel bad for having doubted him.
You were so judgmental of this guy. Like this guy, he's definitely gonna betray you. Hey, maybe that's gonna be your theory that like he secretly he gave Zelda them, then took his own life to protect himself.
Maybe
to keep the secret operation together.
Okay.
Maybe. Who knows?
That's more interesting than his death scene. We can run with that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's funny because on my way back to Sanctuary, I pulled up the map and I was like, okay, I know Sanctuary is behind the castle, but like where exactly?
Yeah.
And on the map, it had a skull icon on Hyrule Castle.
Jeez.
And I was like, huh, weird.
Yeah.
And then I talked to him and he's like, go to the castle. I was like, okay. But, excuse me. We go back to the castle. And my theory before about that electric gate wasn't a final boss, but it was a boss.
Yeah.
That was fun. So, the gate, I wasn't sure like how to approach it at first, because I was like, okay, maybe it's the gate, you know? Because I didn't know if I had to go back down to the dungeon, or like what other parts of the castle I hadn't explored yet.
Yeah.
So that's why I remembered the gate, and I was like, hey, might as well give it a shot.
Okay, that's interesting. You actually like brought something up to me that I didn't even think about. Coming back to it this time, where it's like they don't send you to the gate, like they just send you to the castle, and you just kind of have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It is cool that the gate left such an impression on you, though, that you just like, oh, I head back to the gate. Like that's good.
Yeah, man. There's nothing else like that in the game so far.
Yeah.
Like that sticks out.
Yeah.
So.
I think they do have a text box at the beginning of the game, just like you'll need the Master Sword for this, maybe.
I don't remember, because I do remember trying to interact with it, and it was
okay. Maybe I'm just completely mistaken.
But speaking of text boxes,
okay.
Skipping ahead a little bit, but what's the deal with putting a text box right on this, like right in the middle of what's going on screen?
When did that happen?
When I went to Aghanim and he was doing this thing to Zelda.
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah.
Why? There's enough space at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, probably. I now that you say that, I do definitely remember where it's like, you see the shot, and then the text box shows up, and it just, like, covers what he's doing with Zelda or whatever.
Yeah, like, she's getting, like, evaporated, and it's just, like, covering the entire thing, and you can, like, kind of see it through the letters, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I guess. I wonder if that was a limitations thing, or if it was just like, messed that one up. Oops. We never thought to change where we put the text box, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like so far, with the exception of again, this is based on memory, with the exception of the beginning of the game when Zelda
Mm-hmm.
says, like, please help me, I don't think the text box is ever in the center of the screen again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if it was not in a pivotal moment like this.
Yeah, I think it's happened before with like when Sasha contacts you, maybe.
Okay.
I think when you get like the Master Sword, maybe it does it. But like you are right. Like it's not a thing they do often for sure.
Mm-hmm. Exploring this new area of the castle though.
Yep.
A couple new guards get introduced. I like the flail guy a lot.
Yeah, the flail guy. What does he do?
He has like the mace ball.
Okay, and he swings it in the circle. Yeah, I like that guy too.
I like that
I think
enemy.
you fight one of those guys in the, like you fight one of them, don't you, in the first part of the Hyrule Castle? And you go
I don't think I
game?
ran into one before.
No. I think he's right by where Zelda is in the dungeon.
Oh, maybe.
I could be mistaken. I think I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure he's like in the corner. You don't even have to fight him.
Okay. Yeah, that might have been
either way,
one
cool enemy for sure.
Yeah, I like it because it's different, like it's a different, it's like still sort of the same amount of challenge, it's just you have to think about it differently, so I liked that.
Yeah. I like how this dungeon is like placed in the game, because there's no other dungeon really like it. It's very Zelda 1-esque, where it's like, it's mostly just fight the dudes and get that, they drop a key, you use the key on the door, like it's very basic, but I think it's timed perfectly with, where the story is, like, like things are going down now, you just got the Master Sword, and like you finally have that big attack buff, you got a lot more hearts now. I don't think this dungeon works at any other time in the game, but right here, so I think that was really strong.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I don't remember necessarily struggling the first time I was in Hyrule Castle, but I definitely remember avoiding conflict as much as I could.
Yeah, and now you're just mucking guys. Like, you're good to go.
So, also...
So you like this one, for the most part? Like, I know it was a different kind of dungeon, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. It was cool coming back and, like, unlocking a new part of the castle. I like that aspect of it.
A part that you, like, would never even guess is there.
Yeah, and, like, all the lights are out.
Yeah.
For some reason. Because, like, in my headcanon for it was, like... Oh, they're the bad guys, so like they're basically programmed by this spell, so maybe they just don't need light.
Yeah.
Saves energy.
That's kind of a disturbing thought, but
right.
Gotta say.
But yeah, the corridor, I think, with like that weird maze room.
Right, where it's like dark and you gotta like set the candles so you can actually figure it out.
Yeah, that's where I discovered I can shoot the swirlies from the Master Sword.
Right. So. I think I did the same thing, the exact same. That room, it's really useful too, because it goes through the barriers, and it's like, I'm just going to run up and down where I'm protected and just take everyone out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the final room before Aghanim.
Yeah.
There is something that impressed me.
Wow.
Even more than the squirrel sprite.
Wow. I gotta say this, I'm digging this discussion more, because I don't like it when we're mad. I don't like it when we're sad about this game. I like it when we're really happy, because I think it's great.
This interaction saved the week for me.
Saved the week, wow. I can't even remember what you're talking about.
So, you could have missed it. I was shocked that this worked. This even happened. So, you get into this room, right?
Yep.
There's a guy with a flail. There's an arrow guard. And, I think like a trident guard.
Right.
So they're scattered throughout the room. I think the lights are out, so you can only see like the triangle. I was fighting the trident guy. I was facing down in the room towards him. I was swinging my sword at him a little bit. I was trying to time it right. Yeah. On one of the swings, because the swinging animation, Link like sort of lunges forward.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Or at least like they convey it that way.
Yeah, like you can kind of see his sprite like just move forward a little bit.
Yeah, like he like twists his body a little bit.
Yeah.
So when that happens, the shield moves too.
Mm-hmm.
So I swung down at this trident guard when I had an opening, and in that animation, because Link moves the shield to strike, it goes to his side, and at the exact same moment that happens, the bow guard shoots at me. And
it hits the shield.
It worked out. The arrow bounced off the shield from the left side of me or the right side of me while I was attacking this guy.
That is so cool. I've never never seen that before in this game.
I will send you the footage of it because it blew me away.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. Actually, that's crazy. You have probably to be like within like frames of that for it to work.
Yeah, because the thing is like because it must be super specific to the scenario.
Yeah.
It blew me away that they actually programmed that in because of how like precise that would have to be.
I wonder if that's like one of those things where like it's just like wherever the shield, like it wasn't even intentional programming. If it was just like a coincidence that happens.
Yeah, like if that
based on like if the shield is in that position and this like, I guess that makes sense. That maybe they did program it. Maybe they're like, someone in 25 years is gonna do this, and they're gonna be amazed.
Yeah, because like
be blown away.
From like my pretty vague understanding about programming and everything with games, like the shield would either have to be programmed as its own object independently of Link the entire time.
Yeah.
Or they accounted for that sprite of animation to have invulnerability from the object of the arrow at that one specific frame.
That makes sense. I've done it in, like I did computer programming in like college, so like I can understand how like that would work. Like you need to the shield it can't be programmed so like Link in just a standard position is what blocks it. It has to be programmed so the shield is its own entity that needs to be in front of whatever it's hitting, you know what I mean? And like they probably only developed that in the sense that the shield is forward, and that just happened in my head. Like I don't think they would have programmed that. I think that was probably a complete coincidence. That, like, wasn't intentional by the design and the programming. Cause that's really cool.
Well, yeah, it certainly wowed me.
Yeah.
So, after that encounter, though, we do have the Agadim scene. That's where the text box happens.
Yeah. Before one more thing, before we leave this dungeon, I gotta say, I think I said it on the first episode of the show, but I gotta say it again. This music completely slaps. Gotta say. This is one of my favorite tracks of this. Pardon?
I'm having a hard time recalling it.
It is like the generic Hyrule Castle theme.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is used throughout. Like it's the first usage of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love this theme throughout every single game it's in, and really like this one too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's strong music for sure.
Yeah.
So we get a little more of the lore here. Aghanim completed 6 of 7 maidens.
Right.
Zelda was the final one.
Yep, number 7.
He completes his step 1 of his plan in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to wonder if, obviously this came out before Symphony of the Night, but did people like expect this was the ending of the game back in the day?
Yeah, I think some people. I've seen people say that about Ocarina too, where like they think it's gonna end, and then it's like you just finished the tutorial pretty much, which is a funny way to think about it.
Yeah, because
I never thought it was. I always knew that like okay, the Dark World exists. Like before playing this game, I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, like I knew the Dark World was coming.
Yeah.
But for how I'd say like not insignificant, but for how minor it feels everything we've done so far has been, it was still a lot more to chew on than I was expecting for a, like you said, quote unquote tutorial.
Yeah. I think the Zelda games actually do that really strong throughout all of them, where like they have this opening section that like you could argue is a tutorial, I guess, but it's like some of the best parts of the game usually. Not in this one, I would say the Dark World is like far and away better, but like I love the opening of Ocarina. I love those dungeons as much as the ones later, actually. So
yeah, Ocarina I feel like is just pretty solid throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And here I would say, even after having completed this part and having my appreciation be with the specifics of what we've talked about so far, I still, and I trust you and I trust the people who have talked to me about this, I'm still waiting for the moment, and I think the moment's going to come next week.
I think so too. If memory serves, I think the dungeon next week is very strong.
Okay.
And also, you'll be introduced to the Dark World and everything that entails that, so that'll be good. Before we get there, though, let's talk about this boss fight, I would say.
Sure, that took me a little bit to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, did it?
Yeah, because
That's
again,
fine.
I tried a few items.
Yep.
You know, I checked out my arsenal. I was like, okay, what works, what doesn't? Nothing worked. Um, I tried hitting him with the Master Sword because I was like, oh, Sword of Evil's Bane. He's
Yeah,
evil.
makes sense.
Nope. Swirlies didn't work either. And then I saw the energy balls, and there was one time where I did, in my process of like elimination, I could have sworn I tried swinging at one of them and nothing happened.
Yeah, you got to be specific with the frame, so that might have been it.
Okay.
It is hard to hit, and it's hard like when you actually start hitting them to like. Sometimes it'll shoot off in the wrong direction. You gotta really time it right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I did give that a shot. I'm pretty sure at one point because I did remember in Ocarina again, the Ganon portrait fight.
Yeah, classic.
So blocking and reflecting energy balls was not new to me.
Yeah. So did you figure it out on your own though?
I did, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I ended up, I think, in one of the times I was swinging at him, testing if just hitting him would work. I think I ended up blocking.
You got
one
it.
of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
like
solid fight.
Yeah, it was probably the best boss fight so far. I would say, just because it's unique. It's decently hard. Like I like how. I can't remember if Phantom Ganon does this, but I like how there's like some that are duds, and you kind of gotta be aware and like figure it out. And, I don't know. I think it's cool.
The one thing that I am curious of if it was just because it's a limitation. It was a little like it's frustrating isn't the right word, but like, and I don't think unfair is the right word either because I assume it's a limitation. There's no way to telegraph the difference between the attacks, so like I would be standing there waiting for him to shoot the energy ball at me, and then he just does an AoE with the lightning, and then I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah, so there is. So for the ones that look different, like the 4 little balls, like you just got to think on your feet, like move quickly. The lightning one, when he uses the lightning move, he only does that. I believe he only does that when he's in one of either the top of the room or one of the two middles. Like he's either at the very top middle or he's at the 2 sides middle. I think those are the only spots he can do the lightning.
Okay.
So I understand that you probably didn't like catch that on like your first time fighting him. Like I get that totally, but that I'm pretty sure those are the only times he does it.
Okay.
And so usually when I do that fight, whenever he hits to the middle, like especially when you get into the fight, like the first couple times you don't bother, but like once he goes into the middle of those times, I just run off to the side. Like I'm just like, okay, this could be his lightning. I'm just gonna get it away. But yeah, I get that you wouldn't catch that on a first playthrough for sure.
Aside from that, though, I did enjoy the boss fight because it was like I think in the case of Zelda games I've played, the idea that you're like knocking the energy back at the guy.
Yeah.
At least at the time of experiencing that through Zelda, it was unique enough to that franchise where I hadn't experienced other boss fights like that.
Yeah.
So it is a fun thing, and I like the timing of it. It's like a little game of ping pong. It's fun.
Yeah, this is the first Zelda game to do it too.
That makes sense actually.
We've said that so many times about like different mechanics in this game because like it kind of did, and it's so hard if you didn't play this game before the others to like I didn't either, so I guess like I'm a part of that too. But like when you really think about it, it's like wow, like so many things that are like staples of the franchise, like. They started here. They didn't start the first game. Like, no discredit to the first game, but, like, they really started here, which is awesome.
Yeah, I heard also somewhere recently that the first use of... I think we might have talked about this in a previous episode, but Zelda's theme is here for the first time in this game.
I think we did touch on that, yeah.
Which is crazy, because that's, like, another staple.
Yeah.
So...
Awesome.
But those are all my notes. I did get teleported into the Dark World after the boss fight.
And you were the bunny. And
I was the bunny, yeah.
You didn't think that was weird. You were just like, oh, I guess I'm the bunny.
No, I didn't think it was weird because when I got in there, Sasha FaceTimed me and he was like, hey, you're in your innocent state or something like that. And he's like...
He says he has text about it?
Yeah.
What? Wow.
I can... So I made my, like, in frame right now, I have my Switch. I made my save state after I got control of Link again.
Okay.
So I can't reread it right now. But when I'm editing this, I can send you his text.
I'm so excited to see this text and like all this footage. I was completely wrong then. Like they completely planned for people not getting the Moon Pearl. Like if that was an accident, they're like, yeah, you can do that, and we're gonna let you know. Like that wasn't a bug that they missed. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because I'm walking around right now as Bunny Link.
Yep.
On top of this pyramid temple thing.
And you just...
So. Oh, hey, there's a bomb wall I can't use. Or maybe I can. We'll see later.
No, you can't. I know exactly what that bomb wall is. You can't yet.
All right. But yeah, Sasha called me. He's like, hey, go look for the maiden, but you're going to need the Moon Pearl to get out of this state or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, so. For me, he FaceTimes you regardless. But for me, he's just like, there's a maiden over there. You should probably check that one out, by the way. Good luck. You're in the dark world. That sucks, bro. That's pretty much it. So.
Well, interesting. I think interesting is the best way to categorize this week's episode.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. There's a lot of things like, I don't know if this is good, but this is interesting to look back on for sure.
But yeah, I'm excited for next week. I'm excited to check out this dark world. One of Sasha's lines said something about not like this directly, but pretty much said link between worlds, and I was like, hey.
Yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, what do we do next week?
Next week we will explore the dark world for the first time. We will make our way to the first dungeon of the dark world, and we will do that. We'll finish off at the end. I think from now on we're going to finish off at the end of dungeons. We're going to do our exploring section first, and then we'll finish at the end of a dungeon. Okay. I always kind of wanted to do that, but the way it worked out with the beginning of the game, it made more sense. Like, because I didn't want to like do a short episode or do an extremely long episode just to reset how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So we just went the way we did, but I think from now on it'll be exploration dungeon.
Awesome.
So.
Well, thank you for chaperoning me through this one.
Chaperone, okay. That's a new term. I like it.
Where can the lovely listeners find you online?
You can find me at DJ_Gillard on Twitter. I also do a Star Wars podcast that I've talked about before. You've heard me talk about it probably. If you're at part 4, you've probably listened to part 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, Cantina Conversations, weekly Star Wars show. Clone Wars is coming up, season 7. We're all very excited for that.
It's a good show.
Look forward to that.
Cantina and Clone Wars, both.
Yes.
Good shows.
Thank you.
If you're listening to the show, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other podcast services. If you enjoyed the show, you could give it a rating on Apple Podcasts, because Spotify doesn't let you rate podcasts. Or leave a review if you have more things to say. But if you have even more in-depth things to say, feel free to comment on the videos, as people have been doing, or join the Discord, which is linked in the description of the YouTube video, where you can have a conversation about this timeless classic, TM. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, where maybe I'll be tweeting out some of my journey to go get the Moon Pearl, because I'm sure we won't cover that too much next week since I missed it. But
yeah,
you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris and Buckley. But that's another week in the bag, in the journey. And I'm really looking forward to this Dark World exploration, because I think you can probably tell from so far, a lot of what I enjoy is the small character moments and like weird quirks in the world.
That is like my elevator pitch for the Dark World.
Awesome.
Like I think the elevator pitch for the Dark World, like in comparison to the last one, it's more of like the little stories and little characters and little interactions that you can do. And the dungeons are all dope, and some like they get hard, and like they get good though, like good hard. You know what I mean? So
yeah, not like confusing hard of like just randomly kill these tiles that you didn't have to fight before.
There's one that's gonna be really confusing actually, but I think the other ones are really good. Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, that sounds exciting. But until then,
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
See ya.